Welcome to OTR, a friendly debate, the show where three lawyers debate all the topics, big and small, and try to remain friends. So far, it's worked out.
On today's episode, we are going to be debating sandwiches.
Yeah.
So I have made a Monte Cristo sandwich, and I'll be arguing today that I think it's the best sandwich.
Okay. And Pat's going to be debating that sandwich. Mucci, what do you have?
I have made a Reuben, two different kinds of Reubens. So one with pastrami substitute and one with a corned beef substitute. These are mostly vegan except for the Thousand Island dressing. But
You'd be surprised how hard it is to find vegan Thousand Island. But we manage.
Okay, so I'm going to be the judge because I really don't care either way about either of these sandwiches. So, let's get started.
So a Monte Cristo. I picked it because when I initially heard of the Monte Cristo sandwich, I read it on a menu. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke sandwich. Because I'm like, what kind of sandwich has essentially French toast for the bread? Makes no sense.
I'm sure Mucci thinks it's a joke sandwich.
Yeah, apparently I'm living in a fantasy land. So what we have here is layers of Swiss cheese, turkey, and ham. Which has then been dipped into an egg batter and then fried on a pan. I've chosen to sprinkle powdered sugar on top and serve it with a raspberry fig jam on the side to kind of get that sweet and savory mix. And so that's what I think that just as a complete overindulgent plate, the Monte Cristo is able to marry those two edges, those two ends of the taste spectrum.
Mucci, what about your sandwich? His sandwich sounds like it's married. Is yours single?
Mine's single. Mine's for singles only. Mine's a Reuben, and I think my first experience with a Reuben is tied with my first experience with sauerkraut in general, just as a condiment. I always, really like that kind of sour flavor, and so I like with the Reuben you get like the salty of the meat, the pastrami or corned beef. You get like the sort of sour of the sauerkraut, and then the mildness of Swiss cheese to kind of cut it, and then still like a little bit of tang from the Thousand Island. I think it's a good balance of flavors in a Reuben, which I think is why it is one of the best sandwiches.
The balance. See, I like that, and I hope that we can get the heft across of this sandwich on camera. This is a big boy sandwich.
It's an indulgence, for sure.
And not to slight the Reuben, because I like a good Reuben, and it can also be a bit overwhelming. But
Let me ask this, though, because from what I see, your sandwich, Pat, it might be a lot of fluff, a lot of bread on this sandwich. Mucci, what do you have to say about your sandwich? It looks like there's it's a little more meaty, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the classic of a hallmark of a Reuben is like stacks and stacks of meat, like Katz's Deli in New York City.
The pastrami is supposed to be just coming out.
Yeah, just falling out and like how much is the sandwich at Katz's Deli? Like $20 or something? That huge Reuben,
I don't think the cost of anything in New York is any indication about.
It's true.
But it's course, on the York, my knee-jerk reaction is to refuse any sales data as relevant to a topic. But I just want to ask, Mucci, how many slices of bread are on your sandwich?
Just two.
And how many kinds of meat?
Just one on each, yes.
Yeah, so what we have here in the Monte Cristo, it's a triple-decker sandwich with two different kinds of meat. And so I think that's at least 50% more sandwich just as a baseline.
Getting more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Okay. More filling.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to come out of a meal being, sleepy.
More taste, less filling.
But I think, the Monte Cristo would definitely give you itis if eaten before noon. Yeah. Okay. Despite being sweet, I think it's an afternoon sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Late night carnival, in the day at a carnival. Something.
Yeah. I mean,
this looks like something that they would sell at a carnival, but I haven't seen one at a carnival yet.
I can't refute that.
Okay.
I can't refute that it does look like carnival.
It's not really even a dig, just
It's carny food.
Carny food, yeah. So should we take a bite?
Yeah, I think we need to take a bite.
Okay, let me lean really close into the mic.
You go to the Reuben?
Let's start with the Reuben first, yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, eat napkins. So off the bat, I get straight into the Swiss and sauerkraut combo.
Yep. I'm tasting that. A lot of meat here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mucci, I think you did a good job, though, making this.
Oh, so you got the other one. I got the corned beef substitute one.
What did I get?
It should be pastrami substitute, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is possibly a defect in all vegan analogs to, let's call it normal food. That, certain kinds of texture, appearance are not always 100% on point. But I think the flavor, pastrami-style spices, are good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're just really, laying into your enjoyment, Mucci, but you do have something in your beard.
It's not intentional.
I think when I think of a typical deli sandwich, I'm always looking for mustard.
Yeah. That would be overkill here, though.
Maybe not necessary here.
It's almost like, well, in a way, sauerkraut is the other condiment, too,
All right. Yeah, you open it
It's
with
it's like a relish, almost,
So this might actually be the last time I had a proper, non-vegan, actual Reuben.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I was 2L or 3L in law school, very desperate to get a job. Okay, so I was definitely a 2L. And so there's this guy, Barry Irwin, who, is this sort of patent law rainmaker in town that was doing on-campus interviews for his weird little law firm. And so he's like, oh, well, I had some, but, I can fit you in for a lunch kind of thing. Pick a restaurant to go to, and I'll meet you there. So I pick native foods, kind of have a little vegan thing, a little thing for everybody. You can get a hamburger there. Well, I guess you weren't alone. So I'm waiting on the sidewalk, and Barry pulls up in this fucking SRT8 Chrysler 300C, this big fucking sedan. And he's like, yeah, we're going somewhere else.
Oh.
So he takes me to... what is it, Manny's?
That's what
it's actually not too far from where I am now. And so I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm in a suit and tie, and he is too. And he's like, oh, get a sandwich. I'm like, well, I like a Reuben. So he's like, he's like, okay, get that. And, you got to get the latkes as well. And so we have 25 minutes before he has to get going after we actually get our food and sit down. And so I'm trying to choke down this Reuben, a deli style Reuben that's just falling. The pastrami's falling off. I'm trying to not get shit on me and talk to this guy in between bites. I don't even get half the way through it. And I didn't get the job either. So that's...
Was it a good sandwich, though?
I was so frenzied, I don't even think I tasted it. I remember the latkes at Manny's being quite good, though.
That's a cool place.
So, yeah, I think basically my opinion of sandwiches is completely based upon either traumatic or funny feelings about them. But I think that, again, the Monte Cristo has a lot to offer.
Should we try this one?
Yeah. Should we go for a bite? I recommend at least getting one dip in the jam.
Okay.
And maybe this is analogous if you think of a day after Thanksgiving sort of sandwich. You have, the cranberry, you have the turkey and the cheese. But I haven't heard of anybody deep frying a turkey sandwich.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And the mouth feels different. Mucci's is just pan fried, whereas this has the batter that's deep fried. So
Sure does.
You don't need that bite in it.
It's like if you have your classic breakfast. You have French toast, and you happen to have bacon and eggs, or I'm sorry, eggs and bacon and sausage, and that mixture of the sweet and salty comes together. Because this is basically French toast, right?
Yeah, and so it's not just the bread dipped; it is the entire sandwich is just baptized.
Oh, we saw, we saw that.
I had to add more oil to the pan.
I can see this being a breakfast sandwich. I'd eat this at breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe on a weekend.
Maybe.
Oh, hey, It is.
It's a weekend.
Although it's also like 4 p.m.
The thing about native foods, though, because you did bring it up. Mm-hmm. A horrible place. I know that we went. Someone brought us to Native Foods, and I didn't know what it was all about. And she's like, "No, trust me, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." I was like, "Well, I'll go for this chicken sandwich." She's like, "Yeah, it tastes just like chicken." I'm like, "I don't know. I doubt it. It didn't. It didn't taste like chicken at all. It tasted like whatever it was."
I had
Seitan, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
my first time going there, I did think it was pretty good. I think I might have had like almost like a meatball sub sort of thing. And okay, like you can. I think you can convincingly make vegan meatballs like taste pretty good. But like one time I was like just screwed over. Yeah. Was it was like just like a this other thing I got was like a bowl with just tons of slices of meat and like some like veggies and stuff, and that was just like too much. Like I need like vegan meat to be masked a little more. It's a little bit of meat on a sandwich, or like those meatballs on like a meatball sub. Like there's more around it. When it was just like slices of meat, it really just weirded me out.
I have made vegan brisket before, and so you use this vital wheat gluten, which is, if you're gluten free, this is essentially poison to you. It is just all of the gluten out of wheat. So you form it into like a brisket sized thing and just cook it just like you would braise a brisket, and slice it. And I think it's pretty good analog. But I guess I find myself feeling like I have to defend vegan cuisine, or at least vegan junk food in this way. You really put me on the spot. But back to the sandwiches at hand.
I was going to say, back to the sandwiches. Well, they both do have a different look, right? They both do have a different taste. That's for damn sure. Oh. Mucci, do you have anything else to say about your sandwich?
Yeah, this seems like I could take like a few bites of it and already I'm feeling full. This one, I feel like I could eat the whole Reuben and would be satisfied, full and everything, but like not feel like I need to take a nap. And it's nice if you want to, it is an indulgence. They're both indulgent sandwiches, which is, I think, why they land toward the top of the best, and that's why they came, to this debate. But I think I like this. The Reuben just has like the simplicity and a good balance of like salty, sour, and like the tang of the Thousand Island all works together really well.
Are you going to take a nap after eating both these two?
That might be necessary.
Okay. Pat, what about your sandwich?
But not because of the Reuben.
I think clearly this is a sandwich for kings. Your condiment comes on the side. It's royal jelly, basically. You get to dip it. It's covered in powdered sugar. The presentation alone of it, it's a pretty sandwich. And it tastes pretty good.
Okay. Actually, what is the jam, if you don't...
Oh, yeah. This is from my Aunt Kathy. Every year for Christmas, she gifts me jam. This is raspberry fig.
It's good jam.
So it's what I had on hand. Not everybody is a fan of figs like I am. But yeah, suit to taste. Yeah.
If it weren't for your sandwich, what would you go for?
Talking about second-class sandwiches.
Right.
I talked about this earlier, but I was really thinking of Cuban. Grew up in Florida; those are obviously really big. But just the ham and the pork and the pickle, it's just so good. And I like it's like a pressed sandwich, which I really like as well. Which I don't think we got that kind of variant here. Would have been
another
nice
two slice of bread, right?
Yeah, just
okay.
Probably thinner.
No layers. Okay.
Well, I'm team layers. R.I.P. Spacateria, the cafeteria at Chicago Kent's campus, but a club sandwich.
Okay. Yeah.
Chicken, bacon, tomato, lettuce, triple decker, crisp to perfection, served with a friendly face.
Okay, so I think I have a decision on the sandwich I want to go with for the rest of my life. Or just this immediate meal. Pat, I'm going to have to give it to you. Presentation, taste, with the side of the jam.
Yeah.
Oh, It's just, look at the sprinkle of sugar on this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, delicious.
Honestly, it warms my heart to say that. And it's not just eating all this artery clogging food.
I will say that,
Thank
Mucci, your sandwich is really good. And I'm still going to eat it.
Not a bad sandwich. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
So, unless there's something else...
No, I
don't have any tricks up my sleeve.
that.
You know, you've seen my kitchen. It's
This
is all I have. All I have ingredients for.
Okay, so OTR, a friendly debate. This one is a wrap.
It's a sandwich.
It's true.